What is going on, you guys? MissedThePart here, back again with another really interesting video, and in today's video we are going to be talking about Edge of Spider-Verse issue 4. Now, we're not going to be covering the full comic book, and I've talked about this many times in previous videos like top 5s and stuff, but we're going to be talking about how Morlun himself ended up traveling to a alternate dimension and killed the most evil, violent Spider-Man / Peter Parker or Patton Purnell ever. Like, this is the most evil Spider-Man in the entire multiverse. Like, we're going to jump into what actually happened and why Morlun actually killed this Spider-Man, and it's pretty simple, and it's because he wanted to travel to another dimension, and he was hungry, and he ended up actually being the savior for this alternate version of like Mary Jane or Sarah Jane. And what actually would happen is, like Patton Purnell would end up leading this Sarah Jane into his room, and she ended up seeing like his Uncle Ben or Uncle Ken or whoever his name was in this alternate timeline, like literally on the ground, like half killed, like he was in his bed, like almost dying. And then like this alternate version of Spider-Man or Man-Spider ends up like talking to her, like, he's going to end up eating her. And it's really strange because when he ends up biting you, like this alternate evil version of Spider-Man, there actually becomes spiders in your skin. Like, imagine that. Like, imagine having spiders like infested in your skin, crawling around, like not on top of your skin, like literally in. So his Uncle Ben or whatever ends up getting completely murdered. Like, the spiders just eat his eyes out, they eat him alive. And then whoever walked in the doorway, like, who could it have been but the man himself? It was Morlun, and in this time he was actually the savior in this. And he pretty much talks about like what a flesh torment like you are, and he's like, and then this alternate version of like Patton Purnell is like, who are you? And then he's just like, a very interesting question, and he just says that he's Morlun, and he pretty much just like says that he has a dinner request, and he ends up taking his neck, and without question he rips his arm off. He pretty much completely annihilates Patton Purnell, and he punches him right in the face, ripping his teeth out, and then he pretty much absorbs the energy, and he dies. Now, Morlun really did do a good job. Like, he, even though like he's done terrible things, like this is probably the only good thing that he's done, and he literally just went full-on ballistic by ripping his arm off and didn't even give him a fighting chance. Like, he just completely annihilated him. And this is what I love about Morlun, is that he doesn't show any mercy to any alternate Spider-Man. Like, he'll go around and he'll literally kill whoever he has to if he's hungry. And sadly, this alternate Spider-Man, the most evil version, just gets pretty much murdered, and he just talks about how like you're getting much younger like each time and stuff, and then he just absorbs his energy. And the Sarah Jane at the end of this comic book would actually get bit in the neck, and what would happen is, in the cut, spiders would crawl out of her face and pretty much eat her alive, and she would pretty much be dead. Now, this alternate version of Spider-Man is just very evil, and it's another really interesting comic book of like how events turned out in the Spider-Verse, and how this alternate Spider-Man like actually existed. So I was very happy when I ended up reading Edge of Spider-Verse issue 4, where like Morlun actually killed this alternate version of Patton Purnell, and like it just shows that like this Spider-Man is just truly evil, and it's just something that I definitely really wanted to talk about and jump right into for Edge of Spider-Verse issue 4. And if you guys haven't actually seen this story, and you guys want to see like more stories that I'm going to be covering, or like comic book pages and stuff, do make sure to subscribe, like, share, and turn your notifications on so you and your friends are all up to date with the latest content. But anyways, as always, guys, peace out.